Hey guys, welcome to the Run Ride Laugh Show. My name is Jane. Today I have a conversation with Jason Wojo. Jason is a deliberate, considered, and intelligent digital marketing. I really want to say genius here. It sounds so headliney, doesn't it? Um, but in my opinion, he's pretty. There's some genius qualities. Because at the age of 23, well, I won't say genius, I'd say hardworking. Um, Genius, I think, takes away a little bit of that shine of how much actual effort you are putting in, and he is putting in that effort. So I'm not going to rob him of that credit because it is deserved. Jason's the owner of a successful marketing agency, a digital marketing agency, also serving bricks and mortar stores. He just continues to go from strength to strength. He scales businesses, um, and it's an incredible journey that he's had. I first stumbled across him, where else but Instagram back in 2018 when I was running a fitness business with my husband. What drew my attention to Jason was, at the time, his dedication to simply bettering himself, and I think that served as a wonderful foundation for his business. And over the last few years, I've watched his platform grow and thrive. And personally, I've been inspired by his passion and enthusiasm. I don't run a business anymore, but I still enjoy Jason's daily content and his desire for success. And if you haven't already and you're in a safe place to do so, then grab your phone, take a look at his socials. It's at the Jason Wojo, which is WOJO. And I have no doubt you will be inspired yourself. You know, I think to myself, if only I did half the things that Jason has done at the age of 23, goodness knows where I would be now at the age of 38. So if you do enjoy the content of this show, don't forget to do me a favor and review, subscribe, share, whatever you feel like doing at the end. That would be fantastic. It keeps me going and it keeps me getting guests for you. But for now, here is my chat with the inspired Jason Wojo.
I know who you are, and I can't remember how we met. I know how we met. We met off Instagram, but I don't remember the point in time. But tell everybody who you are, what you do,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, so my name is Jason Wojo. I own a marketing agency and I basically take small and online businesses and I scale them with paid ads, and just systems and automations and basically like sales processes and, upsells and scaling them out, and giving them like a good unique offer that allows them to obviously make more money. And then on top of that, I also do like sales training, with people who are like struggling to sell on the phone. I do a lot of lead generation with companies who just want more high qualified leads coming to them. So at the grand scope of things, it's just I run a marketing agency and I scale companies from, that are making under six figures to 6 and 7, with just proven processes and just paid ads.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing it for?
For about 2.5 years. It
That's
was
the
rough in
thing.
the beginning. It was rough in the beginning, but that is when you first started following me, was when I had my old account and then I got hacked. And then after I got hacked, I had to restart and then you found me again. And that was when I
Uh,
was doing, that's when I was back in New York doing all like the motivational videos and whatnot. And and then I started working with Hustle Island, and then from there, then I took everything I learned from them, and then I basically went on my own path. But yeah, that was crazy. I was getting like, I don't know, I had like 40,000 followers, and I just got randomly banned. Some dude
yeah.
must like change my login or something, and then I had to restart, which was unfortunate. But yeah,
I was under the impression that you did that deliberately. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know why I thought that. But I remember reading something
yeah,
that
and that was the day before Christmas. So I
oh,
was like, wow, Merry Christmas. That's how you feel.
yeah, because you've built up a massive because I a massive following. I remember thinking, God, I haven't seen anything from that guy for ages. And I looked up, I was like, fuck, did he ban me? Did he block me? And then I had to really dig, like I really had to look for you. And then you're like, yeah, that's right. I do remember now. It truly does come to mind now that you said that you got banned. But yeah, you're not doing too badly. So that's the thing that I find impressive, that you're 23, right?
23, yeah.
You're 23 and you've already built up such a successful marketing agency in an industry that's absolutely saturated with that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
How do you, I mean, how do you firstly want to do that when there's so much competition, and how do you succeed?
Yeah. So the biggest thing with that is like there's so many people out there who try to undercut like pricing and they can't even fulfill half of the service. Meanwhile, they don't even know like the things that I know. So people will come to business and be like, hey, like let me, run your ads and make your landing page and manage your Shopify and manage your Facebook ads for like $500 a month or less. And it's like those people are not going to get you results because the people who really know that they have proven systems are charging thousands of dollars a month. So it's like you have all these people who, and it is an easy barrier to entry. It's very easy to make a marketing agency. You could just wake up tomorrow, change your bio, and all of a sudden now you're a marketing agency owner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, for me, it's more about picking the right clients. And I made a video about this a couple days ago where I'm basically expressing like the biggest reason why marketing agencies are saturated is because everybody tries to get every client under the sun. Like if you're an artist with 10 followers, someone will try to sell you. If you are a local business that only has a couple hundred dollars a month to spend, they will sell them, even though they're a rat race to the end. They're not going to give you any money. They might last a month or two, and then they're going to just drop you, and they're going to tell you that it's your fault that you didn't get the results. And also, it's like I've just learned so much over the years that like I just know what to do in what situations. Now, obviously, I'm not perfect, and some things just don't work out. Like there's clients that come on, and like it just doesn't work out because their offer sucks, or like they're just like their products are too high like their margins are not high enough. They're not willing to spend the right amount on ads, and like it's just more of like a psychology thing for some of these business owners because they just don't have the mindset going into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is my fault. Like maybe I'm not qualifying the leads as much. Like maybe I fucked up. So there's a lot of things that I do that aren't perfect too. But at the end of the day, it's like I still have such a solid group of clients right now that like every single day I have my sales team taking phone calls and like I'm running lead gen ads to a lead gen funnel where I'm qualifying new people to see if they like want to work with me. And that part has been like really awesome, like connecting with new people and like really starting to pick out my client base and actually be picky for the people who can actually like afford it plus can run long term. But that's not most of these agency owners. They just cold DM, they cold call, they cold message, and it's like it's a good hustle to start, but at the same time, like little of them know actually how to build a business. Like they're just either outsourcing their services or they simply just don't know how to run ads. They don't know what goes into good copy. They don't understand like the real processes that build like $1 million company. They don't get it. So that like the business owners are then led on. And the business owners being led on just because of sales tactics on the phone instead of just giving real value, like anybody can just take advantage of that and just start an agency.
Yeah. I saw your video on agency. You got pretty fired up about that. I was laughing about that. Yeah, and I was going to ask you. Tell me. Actually, have a question written right here, and it says, "Tell me what you love about agencies, man." Because you just be a smart ass. Because you just got so pissed off on that video.
Because they give marketers a bad name because they get you stuck in these contracts, and I don't do contracts because like people usually don't leave me, so I go the more transparent route and like, hey, this isn't like an open thing, like like I'm gonna get you results, but like like
you don't have contracts.
No, I don't. I do not do contracts.
How do you? Wow. Okay.
I just don't because I just simply don't believe in like holding people to some type of financial obligation when they don't know what could happen. Like I think about things that are like rash or harsh scenarios. Like you don't want to be stuck in a contract. Like if something ever happens to your business or something with your family or the case may be, like I just don't want to be that person who's like hovering over your
Ah,
head like a dark cloud.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like, for me, it's more about just building relationships because the one thing that I substitute with contracts is just communication. Like that's one thing that every single one of my clients is like, bro, how do you do this? And it's like I will send them voice memos. I will communicate with them. I'll have calls with them at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like I literally will go the extent to, basically keep that relationship and like to do more than just business. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of clients that I help and they literally like, hey, like I'm coming to Tampa next week and I'm gonna get you drinks, or like this new guy I just brought on. I set up his lead gen process and he's doing really well. He's like, yo, like I'm coming to Tampa next week, like I'll get you drinks. And I'm like, dude, like that client will never leave me because I was able to basically be a good communicator, give him the results, and not just be not just be a marketer, but like be a friend. So that's
mm,
where other agency owners lack, is like they don't understand what goes into like actually building like a high reoccurring, like low churn kind of business. At the end of the day, like they don't really like paying monthly.
mm,
People just don't like paying for things monthly because they associate it with other things like their mortgage, their car payments. They're like they don't like it. So when you're able to take them out of business mode and put them into friend mode, like you're gonna have a way higher retention, which
yeah,
was my route all along. Like through my content, like people literally will pay me just because I post 3 times a day on Instagram.
yeah,
Like, yo, like I don't know what you do, but like, yeah, I have this store, like I have this business, like I need someone to run ads, like fucking do it. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's more like a transparency thing. So people vibe with it a lot more, and it really increases my conversion rates a lot more for sure.
Yeah, and I think being transparent is good. Word of mouth is
Yeah.
still
And like,
definitely one of the
yeah,
best ways of expanding your business and having that honest relationship with your clients. Yeah, I think a lot of also like I guess a lot of smaller businesses that you work with might be run by the older generation that aren't so familiar with how social media works nowadays, or is
yeah.
it
And I
mostly is it
know a
young?
lot, yeah. I know a lot of agency owners that are older, and like some of them are good, but most of them are using like the most outdated shit. Like they still believe in like, and this is like a side note, but a lot of the funnels that I obviously work on and the clients that I work on, it's it's a difference between like having a store and then like having sales funnels and whatnot. A lot of people like still deeply believe in like all the colors on the landing page all got to be aligned and like all these things. And it's like I literally write landing pages with just text and a logo on top, and that's it. A lot of old agency owners, like they're still used to like making sure that the bars are the same color as the logo and like all these things that quite frankly no one really cares about though. Like sales copy is all that matters.
Mhm.
Like I used to think that websites were the only way to convert people. And that's because I learned from older agency owners, like, oh, websites, like get this 1 to 2% conversion rate. And then I was introduced to sales funnels because there's not all these menu buttons on the top and all these different things they can click. So with the funnels, I saw people getting like 5 to 10% conversion rates. I'm like, what the hell is this? So then
Yeah.
I moved to funnels and my clients started getting better results because it's just like those things are a little outdated. Like some of the processes they use are kind of outdated. But the one thing that old agency owners really do well is like SEO type work. So like search engine optimization, they know the roots of SEO when I still have to like outsource and like learn that part. But yeah.
Yep, yep. Well, it's just another piece of learning to do, but I think you've done pretty well with what you've done so far.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, there's still
yeah,
like there's still a lot of SEO things that I want to learn because I want to be able to branch off the services a little bit more and just add some more like value to the clients. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's gone really well.
do you remember being in high school and thinking about doing this exact kind of thing, or has it sort of evolved, be
It
more of a
definitely
slow
evolved.
burn?
Yeah, because when I was in high school, I then went into well, in high school, I was really like I don't know what you want to call it, but I wasn't really, I guess you could say smart. Like I wasn't really smart, and then I went to culinary school, and that's where shit just honestly. I hated culinary school. I hated school in general. Um, I was like forced to go to these labs, and like I wouldn't go, and like the teachers would email me and all this shit, and then I would hire people on like Fiverr to do my homework. And with the lab classes, I did fail the lab classes because I had to actually be there in person. So I was like literally in my dorm room all day. I was playing Wii and I was selling Pokemon cards online. And my parents would always ask me for like, like the report cards. So I'd have to like pay somebody to like edit it. And, like, that was a shit show.
What year was that? What years are we talking?
That was
Freak
2015.
me out.
That
Freak
was
me out.
that was 2015 when I went off culinary school in September. Damn, that's crazy. That is 6 years ago.
Seeing how much you've done in such a short amount of time. I mean, I'm 38, which is not old, but I think to myself, so 2015, yeah, it seems like yesterday. It seems like absolutely yesterday, and I haven't like done a huge amount in my mind apart from like obviously raising kids is a big job, but yeah, it really blows my mind how much you can pack in if you make the most, of like
Yeah.
this is
Well,
really cheesy every single day.
it was because of the time though. So like I just decided to like cut everything else out, and like you have kids, which is dope. I just didn't have anything like that. So
Yeah.
I had all this time on my hands. I didn't have a relationship. I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
I didn't have really much. I mean, I have a very like small family, so like things inside of the family were just like, cooled, and there wasn't
Yeah.
really a lot of like, fire in the pot. Being rebellious to the whole go to school thing and be smart, and like they thought that school was associated with being like intellectually sound and like all these things.
Yeah.
So like I was just being very rebellious. I got a lot of weird situations, but once I started flipping those cards on eBay, though, I started to learn like about consumer behavior and like what actually went into something that would sell, and like I started to learn little tad bits of stuff there. Then I was like, I'm flunking out of these labs, but I'm passing every other class because that was automated. Like I was literally paying people in India to take my tests, and like
That's very bad.
doing like uh, doing like inspect element on like the online tests, and like I was basically cheating. Like that was
Yeah.
literally what. And that wasn't because I like cheating and things. I just really hated school. Like
Yeah, you had to get something back to your parents, right?
I
Like,
really just did not want like sitting there. I hated writing down notes. I
yep.
hate pencils and papers. I don't like any of that stuff. I like the imagination of the internet. I just cannot sit there and write and listen to some girl who is not like a millionaire or someone who I want to be like tell me what I should be knowing.
Mm.
So that's when I really just decided, like, all right, I'm just gonna like find a way to make some money real quick. So I had all these Pokemon cards like in my trunk of my Ford Focus when I drove up to culinary school, and I was bored one day because all I used to do was play Wii. And I had a friend at the time, Mike Comboy, and he was like, me and him were boys during college. Like we partied together, we just literally did nothing. Like he kind of did the same thing I did, but he didn't do he didn't really not show up to the labs. He was doing all that stuff, but I would just sit in my room, play Mario Kart, sell my Pokemon cards on eBay. I would just do my thing. But the thing was like, since I had like loans and stuff to help me out, and then my parents helped me out a little bit, like I just, well, not loans, but like scholarships or whatever.
Yep.
All the money that I was making from the cards was basically like profit, because I was living in the dorm. Well, I was living in a townhouse because they had like the dorms and they had the townhouses, and my scholarship was able to cover the townhouse. So I just lived in this like big ass crib underneath the hill, and I was just chilling there. I was just riding around my scooter. I had like one of those Razor scooters at the time, and I
Oh,
would
yeah.
like that up just to get food at like the lunch cafeteria and whatnot. And that's like I had this friend who was a janitor at the actual school, and like me and him would talk all the time, and he would let me in the back door to get food because I never had a meal plan because I technically was considered off campus. So yeah, I would just go up there, and he would like basically tell me the code, and then or he would open the door for me because the code changed every week, and then yeah, I could go up there and get my food and then leave. But yeah, like the thing too, and this has been like a very key factor in my navigation, is like people just found me very interesting. Like I was very different. So people who were like, used to doing the average things, and not saying that it's an average thing to be average, but like, I mean, it is. It's like numerical data. So it's like those people kind of looked at me and they're like, the fuck? Like, this kid's interesting. Like, why is he doing these things? And like, why is he acting like that? And why is he doing X, Y, and Z? So those people gravitated towards me more because they were just curious. And then, yeah, like I went through my last semester and I basically called my parents and was like, listen, like I freaking literally hate school. Like I'm moving back home. And they were like, all right, fine, pack your shit. And I was like, all right, cool. So I moved back home. And then I got like a job at Staples. I was working at a life insurance company as like an assistant. And then during the summer, I was trying to get like this. It was like a marketing intern position at like a golf course. And I got there, right? I got the job. The first day I got fired because I clocked in 15 minutes early. And you're not allowed to do that because technically you're taking 15 minutes of like money. But all I was thinking was, okay, I'm just trying to clock in so I can like show up early and like do work.
Yeah,
But
be responsible.
and they were like, "Oh, well, you clocked in early, like, that's not cool." And they were like, "All right, well, you got to pack your shit up." And I was like, "The fuck?" I was like, "Bro, I just came here." After that experience, that's when like I really switched because I remember that drive home in the car. And I was like, dude, I'm going from job to job, just like this is just so stupid. Like, why am I trying to like put all this energy into other people? So then I decided to like go online and I searched up a ton of shit. And that's when I started finding out about Gary Vee and then like all these things kind of aligned. But I remember that car drive home and I was just like so frustrated with like the world. I was just like, this is so fucking dumb. Like I just can't rationalize how people can tell me what I should be doing. And like I literally hated people telling me what to do. That's why I hated school. That's why I hated authority. Like I just hated it because I was like, if they're telling me what to do, like I'm in my own body. Why am I listening to them? Like this should be my decision. And then like after I turned 18, I was still getting told what to do by other people. I'm like, dude, like, this is so stupid. Like I'm not doing this. I'm 18. I'm a grown ass man. Like I'm an adult. This is just stupid. So then I took that and I kind of just built like some type of like demeanor. I don't know what kicked into me, but I built this like anger, not like an anger, but like an anger for like people who just wanted to tell, but never do. And then that's when I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do my own thing because I'm smarter than this person, that person, and that person. Like I know what I want, and that was it. And then that's when I started making the videos online, trying to like get people out of the same rat race that I got out of, which was school and all this bullshit. And like that's when you were following me.
Yep.
And I was really trying to preach self-awareness and all that because like that's when I really broke out of the shell of like, yo, I'm rebellious, I hate authority, like I'm gonna do what I want. And
Yep.
that's when I started making those videos. Um, and then that turned into like, doing it for other brands and then running ads for them. And then that's really where like the pivot really came for me was right when I got back home and I was just like, all right, I'm tired of doing all these jobs. I did have one last job that actually was pretty fun, not gonna lie. I worked at a financial firm where I was like an intern analyst because I liked the stock market. I thought it was an interesting thing. I met a lot of cool people there. I learned a lot of stuff there that I still take to this very day with my own like investments and whatnot. That was an interesting job and like people were really cool there. The environment was dope. If every job was like that, then I think the world would be a better place, to be honest. It was like a really cool environment. They paid me not based on my time, they paid me because I was good at things. So I remember when I was there, the first meeting that we had, Zach, he was there and he used to follow me on Instagram because I was pretty popular in my area for making these videos. He's like, yo, like Wojo does marketing. You should have him like do the website and all this. So then they started paying me extra because I started working on the website. I started doing all the LinkedIn stuff and all the ads and whatnot. I was driving all this traffic and like they were paying me based on, what like the expertise that I had instead of, hey, when did you clock in and when did you clock out? It was never like that. Like there would be days where it snowed and I would stay home and they're like, all right, like what are you doing today? I'm like, all right, this, all right, cool, have a good one. Like that was it. It wasn't like, hey, are you clocking out at 2 or you work until 3? Like they didn't care about that, which was dope. And that was my first taste of like financial, not like financial freedom, but like, the freedom to make money based on how smart I was or how like far I was willing to go instead of the actual amount of work. Because I still get people on the phones who are with my sales team and they're like, hey, like how many hours are you gonna spend on this? I'm like, listen, man, do you want to like focus on how many hours I spend or how much money you make? Like,
Yep.
doesn't make sense. It's the stupidest analogy. And those are usually business owners who like don't understand anything and they're just like basically not going to go far. And then, and that was near like, yeah, I mean, that was my last year in college when I had that position. Because I wind up moving back home and I went to like a business school, which was like basically a daycare. Because I was still doing the same shit there. I wasn't showing up. I was getting people online to do my work. None of the tests were in person. Like barely any of them were. Even the final exams were take home. That was hilarious. So
Wow.
it was basically like a daycare, and yeah, I mean, I was just having fun. I was learning now about like social media marketing. I was taking courses, and I was just like doing all these things and like watching all these YouTube videos and trying it myself. And I started getting clients in the area, like barbershops and a restaurant. And I had a videographer who I was doing stuff for. And then I had another diner and I had a local custom trophy shop. I had all these different clients, obviously weren't paying me a ton of money, but it was enough for me to basically save on top of what I was already doing with work at the firm. And the firm paid me really well. Like that was kind of ridiculous to be honest. And I was only like 20 at the time. And I was almost making six figures. It was ridiculous. I don't even know what was going on. So after I got done with that experience, I basically decided to find somewhere to live because I was like, hey, I don't want to live in my parents' house anymore. Like, I want to go do my own thing. And then that's kind of where I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found a house in Orlando. And then that same house, I wind up just signing a lease and just leaving. I didn't even tell my parents yet. What had happened was like since I worked so many jobs and I was doing like a lot of like side shit too, like Facebook Marketplace and actually building an agency and like I was actually making really good money as like a kid that was in college. So I was able to save a lot of money. So when I did that, it gave me an easier opportunity to obviously be able to move and like afford to pay rent on my own.
Mhm.
So once that time came, I did it. I got the lease and I told him, hey, I'm coming in May because he was looking for someone to come in May. And this was February when I signed that lease. So I signed
Yeah.
the lease in February. I paid the first month deposit. And I didn't tell my parents until the day before graduation. And the reason why I did that was because I wind up taking them on a cruise instead. So I took my parents on a cruise so that we could spend some time together before I left because I literally was driving like from New York to Florida and I was leaving everybody.
Yeah,
So
I remember the crew. I remember that.
yeah. So I was like, I might as well take my parents on a cruise real quick. And then, the very next day, then, I wind up getting my shit and I drove down. I just packed up my car, had one suitcase, a couple things, and I didn't really have much. And that was really it. I just, I didn't want to go to graduation either. So it was like, and the funniest part about the whole thing is like, when I was supposed to be at graduation, I won the award for like business excellence, even though I did no work. Like I paid other people overseas to do my homework, and I still got the highest GPA, and it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Um, and yeah, I mean that was a really good turning point for me because like that drive to Orlando was literally where the shit started. Like that was where I went from like aspiring to like complete monster because
Yeah.
like when you're taking that leap of faith and you're like driving 2,000 miles, like you just feel a certain way. Like
Yep.
you really you go from kid to grown ass man in like 3 seconds, and it was like
I
because
did it.
you got to figure your shit out. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Yeah.
that was
How long is that drive in? How long
it
in
was
hours?
I did it in one day and it was 21 hours. Like
Oh, 21. Yeah.
I had so much adrenaline. Like
Yeah.
I did that shit in one day. So I left at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I got there around like 2 a.m.
Yep. I
So
when I was 18 or 19, I moved up to Queensland, which is a 12-hour drive. But I knew one person, and yeah, it was the most liberating thing. I just wanted to get out of Sydney. I was just like, I'm
yeah,
so done with this shit. I'm so done with everyone right now. I just need to get out. And I definitely can relate to what you're saying about that drive being
yeah,
so empowering and just a moment.
yeah. Like
Um,
my
yeah.
parents were like, oh, get a hotel room. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be so adrenaline rushed. Like,
You
there's
can't
no
stop.
way. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna stop and sleep somewhere and then wake up and then finish the rest. There's just no way that's feasible. I was just so pumped. So I was
That's
like,
actually, yeah, that's a really long time to be driving. Yeah.
yeah, that shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it sucked, but it was also exciting as hell.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so you're pretty close to your parents. That's good, and they're super supportive of you on this
Yeah,
journey.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, now they are. Yeah.
Oh, they were a bit worried at first.
They weren't at first, no, because they were scared, to be honest. They were like worried that I was gonna, like, not be able to pay rent and all these stupid things that, like, I knew I had that covered.
Yeah, which is
Um,
fair for parents to worry about,
yeah,
but
they were kind of just like, I could tell my dad was upset a little bit because, like, me and my dad were pretty close.
yeah,
And he was like, really hard on me when I was like growing up, and like just wanted me to like stop, like stop being a little kid and like do what I want. Like, I was a rebellious kid, so he tried to put me in my place. And like, I remember the day that he like actually like completely gave up, like he wasn't gonna like reprimand me anymore. And that's like when I really started growing. And that's like a parenting thing. I think that like um everybody has grown up differently. And I think that if you just let your kids just like be free and do what they want and they have their imagination, like they're gonna grow up to be like really, really successful.
yeah,
Because when I would say things, when I was like, oh, like I don't want a job, like I don't want to do this, I don't want to have a girlfriend right now, like my parents would be like, that's stupid, like you need somebody to hold you accountable, like, love is a great thing. And I was like, no, like I really don't want to do that right now. So
yeah.
like other people were telling me, I just didn't agree with, I didn't like. So it was
There,
just very eye-opening for me, obviously.
there's a lot of there's a lot of ego that comes into parenting. There's a lot of I always say to people that I do not own my kids. They're my kids that live with me and I'm raising them and I'm responsible for them, but I don't own them. Like they're showing me who they're
Yeah.
going to be. And it's great because it's surprising. It's like, oh, you like doing that? Okay, that's you. And we're not. But it's just this, yeah, I think it can be out of fear that parents do that, because, I mean, most things that are fear-based can tend to be a bit, you know, based out of ego or based out of pride or based out of, what they want for you because of fear. So, but, I mean, you've probably shown them exactly what you can do from
Yeah, yeah.
now.
Like now they're like supportive and like they get it. But now they're on another fence, which is, and this is like a money block for people, and they're afraid that like I'm gonna get in trouble or something because I make a lot of money now. Like they think that like what I'm doing has a lot of eyeballs on me, and they always say to me, "Oh, be careful, be careful." And I never understood that because like if I supply a service, I got to be paid in return. Now, if I do that service 1,000 times, that's not because I'm being sketchy. That's because I'm in demand.
Yep.
But parents, they they think that like sometimes what I do is like kind of sketchy. Like they still to this day still don't really know at a full scope of like actually what I do.
Yeah,
Uh,
because they'd be used to you get paid for your time, not but you're
yeah,
you're making money from your craft, not how
yeah,
long it takes you to do that craft. So they're from a 9 to 5 world, clock
yeah,
in, clock out. But it might take you 30 minutes to do something. It might take you 4.5 hours to do something. You
yeah,
charge for the quality of your craft and for not just what you made that day or what you did for your client that day, but for the 3 years that you've been building towards that.
yeah.
I feel like it's everything that people don't see that they don't want to pay for. So yeah, I think it's hard for older generations to understand that, for sure. But yeah, I would be pretty proud if I were your parents. Um, when are you going to line up for the when are you going to line up outside Apple for the Apple microwave?
Oh God. That Instagram reel did actually really well, and it did well on TikTok as well. Oh God. I love them. By the way, those Instagram reels and the TikToks are fun because Ryan, who edits them for me, he does a really good job. Like he's a really dope guy. And I met him in Miami when I was at Jason Capital's event. And he's like a really smart guy, like really smart dude. And he's really good at editing and like he understands the culture and it's really dope. So it works out well.
Yeah, they are very good. They're yeah, reels are big at the moment. I have a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
give
fun.
you the best reach. Like the feed is completely dead, but I still have to post because I don't want to just be posting reels all day. So it's like that's why I'm going on YouTube now. I've been posting on YouTube for the past like I think 40 days in a row.
Yeah.
Um, and that's been interesting. It's hard to grow on YouTube. It really is.
Yeah, I'm not a YouTube person. I don't naturally sort of gravitate towards opening
Yeah,
YouTube and looking at YouTube, but yeah, it's hard to play YouTube,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. It's
Um
really hard to grow. You need like yeah, you need really good SEO for that. Like I have somebody who's helped me with that, but we're gonna see how it does. But yeah,
what's your biggest achievement you would say in the last 3 years? What's your biggest, most
um,
proud thing if you had to pick one thing out?
if I had to pick one thing out,
Yeah, just one thing.
it would definitely be making six figures in 1 month. That 1 month I had last year was crazy. That's when
Yeah,
I knew I was onto something for sure.
yeah,
That was the wake up call for me to like go harder. Um, and I actually got that on video. Troy recorded while I was in my room. That was dope. Um, yeah, because it's like from where I'm from, like that's not normal. Like
no,
that's um, yeah, it's just not something that people actually think is real. They also don't believe in it because they think that it's scammy or they think it's fraudulent for someone my age to make that much. And that's like a mental and money block for society when all it came down to was just me fulfilling a service. And that was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was definitely the turning point for me for sure. Um,
And what's a massive thing that sort of what are your biggest blocks when it comes to intuition, gut feeling? Like what's something that you
Um, okay, that's a really good question because I like to stick to my gut, but then there's also times where I get egotistical and I don't like resort to what I know works. I always like to try new shit and it burns me. Like if I have clients, I'm like, okay, I know what to do with them. But I'm like, hey, like, why don't we try this? And then I wind up trying it doesn't work. I'm like, fuck, just stick to what works.
yeah,
And like I like to use my gut because my gut's telling me just use what works. But then I start getting really like with the newness and I get very like attracted to new things. Like that's everybody's like that's why the new iPhones do well. That's why people want new cars. Like that's why I got a new house or like other things that I buy because newness is a real thing. Like newness is that's kind of like the reprimand of like boredom. And sometimes I get bored and I'll just buy dumb shit. Like I didn't really like I just bought this thing like, did I need this camera? I mean,
uh,
probably not, but I was bored and I was like, all right, I want a vlog camera. So we went to Best Buy and like I spent money on a camera. I was like, all right, whatever. Like,
yeah, but you'll use it.
it's not something that would depend on my survival.
Yeah,
It's newness. I was tired of using my iPhone, so let's get a camera. I was like, all right.
yeah. Well, you can write that off on tax anyway. The
Yeah,
business
of
pays for
course.
that. Oh, that's awesome. So what do you want? What do you want for Wojo Media? What's your vision for it? Where's it going to be in
Um,
2031?
oh, geez. I really want to right now focus on using the money that I'm making to build like my brand personally. Because like I'm gaining a decent following again. I'm trying to hit all these different platforms, trying to get bigger on TikTok, trying to do all these things. But eventually, I want to get into more like consulting on my own, where I can charge more.
Yeah,
Speaking at events, like events have been dead because of the virus and whatnot. But I want to do like events like every month. I want to like have my own like side company that does that because I want to be able to speak. I want to be able to meet more people. And obviously, this whole situation has completely depleted that at the moment. But other than that, I mean, I really just want to build this up to at least like an eight-figure company. I want to be able to do eight figures. I'm probably gonna have to expand into like an office or something.
yeah,
It's gonna come like in the next year. Just because like if I want to expand, I need to take over a certain location. And I already know the systems to actually like, get leads in and convert them and like do that. So I'm not crazy worried about that. But yeah, like that would have to be the infrastructure to do so because I can't just, I mean, you can if you have a product, But what a
Yeah.
serve, you want to keep things in house and like doing 8 figures, it's $1 million a month. So it's like you need to have an office. So
Yes.
yeah, like that's definitely a plan for me. Also, I want to get somebody who will follow me and record me because I want to get into that as well. Just because like that documentation definitely wins at scale.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's such a game changer that I don't know what it is about that that's so catchy, that's so watchable, but it's yeah, it's definitely works.
Yeah.
Do you live with your team at the moment? You're
Um,
living in the one house?
yeah, so Dave lives here. Troy is not on my team. He's just someone who does like email marketing. He's just one of like he's basically like my best friend.
Yeah.
Um, so we do like we run our own agencies. Dave lives here and he helps both of us with tasks. So like I get him Monday, he gets him Tuesday. Like we just alternate. And Dave does copy. He does emails as well. He helps me build funnels for clients. He's just a really good dude. And then downstairs we have Nick. So we have the four of us. Nick is an email marketer and he's one of like Troy's mentees. So like he's trying to learn from Troy and he's like building his agency too. He does well, Nick. It's just like he's just looking to scale right now and he wants to like know more things. So like that's kind of why he moved here. He moved all the way from Oregon. Um, and he basically just like packed up all his shit, got on a plane and like yeah, he has no
That's
car or
awesome.
anything. He just like lives here, so it's dope. Yeah, it's really cool. And obviously, I have like team members outside of the house. I have geez, I have so many people. I have like 11 members now. So
Okay.
people who help me, like I just onboarded this girl Disha. She's a copywriter. Um, I got Dave. I got the editing team. I got the YouTube team. Um I got 3 sales guys. That gives it to 8 people. And then I got Pedro. And then I got, huge. I have 2 other people that I'm thinking of. Oh, Rose, who does my graphics. And then,
They're going to be really pissed off if you forget them.
yeah, because I literally hired like 4 people in the last like 2 weeks. So it's been like nuts. And then I have Joe, and then I have Key, and then Maddie, who does my SEO. So yeah, that's about 11, 12 people. Yeah.
Do you have anyone there with you right now who can play a game?
I don't, I
Is
think Dave.
anyone up?
Yeah, I think Dave's on a call right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and Troy's downstairs.
Okay, you'll have to play the game. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, all right? Do you know much about Australia?
I don't,
Oh,
but like
good.
my old housemate from Orlando went there for like a study abroad thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep, yep. I like to torture people who don't live here with my game. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you whether I'm just going to ask you a bunch of random questions about Australians, and I want you to tell me whether you think it's real or it's fake,
Okay.
and I'll test your knowledge. All right. Um, do Australians drink their beer from their shoes?
I feel like that's an Ireland thing, so I'm gonna have to say no.
No, it's true. They do it when
It
they're getting
is?
drunk. Yeah, it's
Oh.
called it's called a shoey, and it's fucking disgusting. And I've never done it, and I never will. All right. What is goon of fortune?
Goon of Fortune.
Yep. Just think about the name. What's goon of fortune?
It sounds like it honestly to me, it sounds like a castle. I don't know why. It sounds like some building. I don't know. That was probably the dumbest shit you ever heard, but it sounds like a building.
No, I can see. Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Like the something of fortune, like as in money. No, so think Wheel of Fortune. You know, you guys have Wheel of
Oh,
Fortune,
okay.
right? So
Yep.
Goon of Fortune is where Australians. Do you know how you can get wine in like a big box, which it's in like a
Yeah.
sack in the middle? So they hang the sack on the clothesline. You guys don't put your clothes out to dry, do you, in the sun?
You should
Yeah,
just drop.
that's yeah, what the hell is that? Why are you doing that? You put it in the sun and it dries.
It's faster. It gets done in 30 minutes.
Yeah, but it's so bad for the environment. Anyway, goon of fortune is you put the sack of wine on the clothesline and you spin it, and whoever it lands on has to drink the whole thing. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Now you know what that is. Do we eat kangaroo in Australia?
Shit. I hope not.
Yeah, we do.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a joke. But
No.
then okay. That's crazy. That's about
It's really high in protein, really low in saturated fat. And there's fucking tons of them, and they're a massive pest. They're actually a massive pest. I know it's our national animal, but yeah. What do Australians call McDonald's?
kangaroos. I don't know.
No, we just call it Macca's. It's just Macca's.
Okay.
We're going to Macca's. What is a bottle-o?
Bottle sounds like a bottle opener.
No, very close. It's a bottle shop. It's like a liquor store. It's like
okay.
alcohol shop. What is fairy bread?
Sounds like cornbread.
It is bread with. Do you know what hundreds and thousands are?
Hundreds.
Do you know what? Do you know what sprinkles are? Like you put on ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hundreds and thousands. We call them hundreds and thousands.
Oh.
Fairy bread is white bread, butter, and sprinkles, and you cut it and you serve it at like a kid's birthday party. Fairy bread. All right, here's the last one. I want you to tell me whether this is true, whether an Australian Prime Minister went for a swim in the ocean, never came back, was presumed drowned, and we named a swimming pool after him. True or false?
True.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's true. His name is Harold Holt, and yeah, he did. He went swimming off the coast and he never came back. And so there's an expression you use. You say, "I'm doing the Harold Holt," which means I'm getting the fuck out of here and I'm not coming back. So, well, you did pretty well. Thanks for doing my little Aussie quiz. Tell people where they can find you online, because you're doing a lot of TikTok as well.
Yeah, TikTok, it's just at Jason Wojo, and then Instagram is the Jason Wojo, and then my YouTube is Jason Wojo. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Yep, you got it. I appreciate it.
I'll see you online.
Yep.
Okay, see you, man.
I see you. Talk soon.
So there you have it. And as promised at the start of this show, Jason certainly knows his agenda, doesn't he? And he knows what he wants. I love talking to people like Jason who have an urgency and a passion for what they do, because it is contagious. And, well, for what it's worth, this is my opinion, but it makes you take a little bit of perspective on what you're doing at the moment and the steps that you're taking to make your dreams happen. I want to sincerely thank Jason for spending his time with me, and I wish him a lot of success in the future, to which I will bear witness. And I have no doubt we'll speak again sometime. But in the meantime, you can follow Jason, as mentioned at the beginning of this show, on his digital platforms at the Jason Wojo, which is WOJO. And you will find him up on there on all digital platforms. I want to thank you guys for listening to the pod. Take care.